For I dipped into the future, far as human eye could see, saw a vision of the world, and all the wonder that would be. Alfred Lord Tennyson, Locksley Hall. And I think that's it. I think we're live. Holy shit.
It's happening.
It's happening. Doom, we made it. Episode 1. Holy shit.
We've done it. It begins now.
It begins now, you guys. Well, I guess, welcome to the Night Captains.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I am Orion, and this handsome devil here is Doom. And I suppose we're going to be your guides through time and space and into the world of Sun Eater. How excited are you to be here, man? This is a lot. We've been planning this for a hot minute now.
Yeah, I mean, podcasts are weird.
They are.
It's always a strange thing to start something where you're just going to be hearing your own voice constantly, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Same. Yeah. And we've already had a little practice with our friend Joe Mack, his small mini
Shout
series.
out Joe Mack.
Joe Mack. He's the best.
Follow that YouTube. The Road to
yes.
Godin episode, whatever, going live soon.
I think he's breaking that second episode into 2 parts because, man, we talked for a long time. Did you ever hear about, how long we went?
Yeah, I think Mark's told me that you guys went for 2 hours on just Kingdoms of Death.
4.5 hours in total. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I had Gundam.
That's okay. You won that tournament, and we're very proud of you.
Yeah. That's where I got this deck from. The purple one.
Hell yeah. Anywho, we are here to talk not about Gundam, but about Sun Eater.
Indeed.
But what is Sun Eater? For the layman in the crowd, Sun Eater is a science fantasy, science fiction series written by the singular, the crazy, the one and only Christopher Rocchio. It is about a young nobleman, Hadrian Marlowe, set off in the far, far future, about 20,000 years from now in our future. A young nobleman who runs away from home, gets caught up in this interstellar conflict between mankind and a ravaging alien species called the Cielsen. And Hadrian tells us on the very first page of these books, his memoirs, about how he ended that war between mankind and the Cielsen at the cost of everything. All of his friends are gone, all of his loved ones have passed, and he's finally putting pen to paper, telling us about how he ended this conflict and became the man known as the Sun Eater.
Yeah. Sun Eater is a book that draws a lot of comparisons to a lot of great works. You'll often hear people on one side of this fandom talk about how they feel like it's a lot like Red Rising, that it's a lot like Star Wars, that it's a lot like Dune. Then there are the people that are like, it's ripping off these things, when it's not. The homages are worn on the sleeve on purpose so that Christopher takes the best things of what he likes, and then he, in his words, tries to tell his own story. Like the comparisons to Dune being very prevalent in book 1, but not overt. The comparisons to Star Wars being in that it feels more fantasy than it does sci-fi, because when people hear science fiction, they think it's hard sci-fi, all about math and science and things like that, whereas space opera and sci-fi fantasy is more Lord of the Rings in space, is what I kind of tell people Sun Eater feels more like. And it's just one of those stories. 7 books now. We're getting book 7 here in a month. It's already October. I didn't even realize.
I realized it yesterday. I went, holy shit, how did this year fly through my fingers like that? Yeah, Shadows Upon Time, November 18th.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, some of us in the Red Company Discord and across the world already have the E-Arc. I know you and Casey got to read it before everyone else. and
Yeah,
we're singing his praises.
we were beta readers. It was my job primarily to look for continuity errors, and I found a couple, but we smoothed that out, and the book is all the better because of it.
Yeah, and then there's also a handful of novellas. Some of them being some of my one of my favorite stories in the series, in Dregs of Empire. And then there's a just a crazy amount of short stories. I think a bunch of them are fantastic. I would have to say that um, Gutter Ballet is my favorite. I think
If
Gutter Ballet is a cool little peek into like the other side of the world, not with Hadrian's POV, which is always nice seeing POVs from other characters within the universe, which is why it feels so fleshed out and alive. Like you really get an appreciation for how vast the universe is in Sun Eater when you read some of the short stories and realize like things are going on in the background that some of these stories directly have like a direct continuation with the story, and some of them are just like out there.
yeah, if I were to choose one, I would say I really like the Archaeonaut. That was the first one that made me go, "Ooh, this is big. This is fleshed out. This is meaty and juicy." I really like Daughter of Swords, and most recently, the Acosmist. That's one's becoming a real fan favorite because it's kind of not for
Yeah,
casuals, as Christopher so gently put it when he sent it to me for the first time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So,
Cosmos is one of those ones that like fleshes out
uh huh.
something that we had never seen before. So then it's kind of like, what's going on? You know, a question people always have is like, what's going on in this Yelson's head?
hmm
And the Cosmos is one of the first like real peeks you see into one of them. I won't spoil who, but it's crazy.
And it's something that Christopher loves to play down what he's actually doing behind the scenes because he'll just go, "Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that because how can I get into this person's head or how would I be able to, recreate this faithfully, in such a small format like a short story." And yet he completely does it all the time. And we're just floored every single time he does it. It's just like, for
Hmm.
one, how does he do it? He can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
my favorite thing too is that if you watch the like we both obviously watch the Q&As, but if
hmm
you for the people watching, if you go and watch the Q&As and like talk about how he storyboards things and how he has to like have the conversations out loud and he does the posing and all that, I can only imagine him getting into like character as the main POV of the Cosmist. And I kind of chuckled at it a little, Christopher, like going around his writing room, like pretending to be this character. And I'm like, this is
he he once said once upon a time because he and his wife both work from home now, and she said, "I would love to like come on up to your office and like work alongside you to do some parallel work." And he's like, "I don't want you to do that, not because I don't love you, but because I walk around my study and say made up words like high matter and Cielson." Which I mean, I love their relationship, but of course he would do that, in his
yeah.
working time.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do
You
sometimes, you
gotta
know?
do what you gotta do, especially for Sun Eater, and it's like paid huge dividends. Christopher going off the deep end with the world building like this because the series' popularity has just gone through the roof recently. The books have been translated into languages like Russian. There's a French, German, the infamous Polish edition because of their wacky cover art.
Yeah.
And I believe that there's going to be some new language updates in the future. We're getting a Ukrainian version, which I'm very excited about.
Mhm.
Arabic. I've actually seen some of the translations, and they're very cool. And most exciting, Spanish, because I can't wait to throw these books at my relatives. At last, I have an excuse to do
Yeah.
this.
They're gonna
But
put an embargo in Puerto Rico because I'm gonna be sending so many books to my cousins.
yes, yeah, just like, what's this 50-pound book that got sent down to us from the States? Oh, it's Orion. And, all right. I should have a spring at the bottom of the box so when they finally open it, the books will just launch
Confetti.
themselves at my relatives. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like a shower of confetti. I love this idea. Um, the things I do for Sun Eater, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the insight that you do into Christopher. I do have like, his professional career. He has a English rhetoric degree from North Carolina State University. He was a junior editor at Baen Books. He curated anthologies like Sword and Planet, Time Troopers, World's Long Lost. Sword and Planet being, I believe, where Queen Amid Ashes came out the first time.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so I actually have the Sword and Planet cover hanging above my desk right here.
Sick.
Uh, yeah, so those he sold Empire of Silence at 22, which is crazy because thinking about it, like the three, like you, me, Christopher, we're all around the same age, and this be at 22. Uh,
I don't know what I was
I was
doing at
working,
22.
dude. I was an assistant manager at Zoomies at 22. I was working at GameStop and Zoomies selling shoes and selling video games at 22. To sell a book at 22 is insane. He won the Manly Wade Wellman Award for Best Novel in Empire of Silence in 2019, the Hellfest Literary Prize for Empire of Silence in 2021. The subsequent novels were nominated twice for Dragon Awards, and he's written for Marvel, among other things, being that he wrote one of those cool Avengers stories. I think it had a focus of Thor, if I'm remembering
It was
correctly.
specifically a Thor story. Yeah. If
Yeah,
anyone hasn't read The Two Worthies, try to track it down. It is so good. And you will not be surprised by the twist and turn that it takes because it's Christopher. Obviously, he's going to write
yeah.
a Thor
I mean, I
story.
actually have it somewhere. I didn't pull it out. You saw before I put this beautiful cover art on my screen. I have a fuck ton of stuff just laying around right now.
Doom is very much a dragon just sitting atop his hoard, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, I am. I am a collector. I love the things I love. I'm looking around and I'm like, I have an entire bookshelf that's just the different Sun Eater versions. On top of that bookshelf are all the like limited edition Warhammer figures that I have. I like playing card games, so I've got a lot of that stuff. I'm very much a dragon on top of his hoard, as you put it.
Yeah, very much so. I have stuff, but I try to keep it as chaotically organized as possible. Most of all, these bookshelves, which are my pride and joy, because at one point I did not have shelves to put things on. So this just, it makes me feel accomplished and very adult like. So my shelves just go on up to here. They're very, very closely curated, and I'm very proud of where they are right now. But Sun Eater kind of takes front and center because it is my pride and joy. It is my baby. I've now got close to three shelves dedicated to this series. I didn't realize how much of my life this would take up. I started reading Sun Eater in 2020, and we all know what was happening in 2020.
Yeah.
I just remember, oh man, what a time. I just remember going into Barnes and Noble for the first time since everything had shut down. And it was weird being out in public again, and everyone was wearing masks and social distancing. And it was the new normal, but it was still weird and freaky and scary. And so I wanted to go to my tried and true section at the bookstore, which was the science fiction fantasy section. And all of a sudden, I turn the corner and I see that cover staring out at me, the cover of Howling Dark, the second book in the Sun Eater series. And it was like I had just stepped into cement or quicksand. I was just like locked in place, staring at this cover, and I was thinking, what kind of story has to be told where that exists? I kind of need to find out more. I have to find out more. I must find out more. So I ended up buying the first book. At this point, we had a shortage of hardcovers, and so it was impossible to find a hardcover. I ended up getting a mass market paperback. But I blew through that in about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And at that point, I set the book down, went back to the bookstore, and at this point, Demon in White, the third book, had been published, and so I bought Howling Dark and Demon in White in one go. And it's just been nonstop for me ever since. I started watching Christopher's Q&A streams on YouTube. I started getting to know him a little better. He started recognizing my name on the streams, and so that made me feel very special. But then he began to roll out a Patreon, and it was easier to get in touch with him. And during one of these streams, someone had said, is there a community for Sun Eater fans to hang out? Is there a subreddit? Is there a Discord? And Christopher said, if there is, I don't know about it. And I can't really stop what I'm doing in order to make one because I have to focus on writing, rightfully so. And so I
Yeah.
kind of had this moment where I'm like, I know what I have to do. And I had never done this before, but I had created the bones of a server, and I approached Christopher on Patreon and I said, hey, don't want to take up too much of your time, but it looks like I just wanted to do this thing. I wanted to start this thing and I wanted to ask your blessing. And he says, send me the link. And so actually, Christopher is the very first member, other than me, to join the Red Company.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he was the very first person other than me. He showed me what to tweak here, what to edit there, and we started inviting people in. And we have been going at this for 5 years now, and we just recently exceeded 1,200 people. That is 1,200 more people than I ever expected. It is insane, and it's such a great community. And about halfway through, I think it was 2022, 2023, was when you joined.
Yeah, 2023, I think. I can actually look. I had to close Discord because it kept pinging.
I had to
Let's see.
silence all of my
Oh,
channels because one of our friends, Isaac, is going through it. He's rereading Kingdoms of Death right now, and I'm like, dude, I'm so
oh.
sorry. I'm so sorry, but I have a podcast to record.
Yeah, July 27th, 2023 is when I joined.
Damn. How did you
Doesn't
get
feel
into
like it's
Sun
been
Eater?
that long.
No, it feels like you were like there from the beginning, and I have to remember that you were kind of right smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah. I started reading Sun Eater in 2019, I believe. 2019 was Howling Dark hadn't come out yet, and I remember I was still living in Florida. I decided to go to the bookstore. So if you're in Florida and you're from the West Palm area, you know about City Place. City Place used to have a bookstore. I don't remember if it was like a small bookstore, if it was a Barnes and Noble, but I remember going in and seeing the cover for Howling or for Empire of Silence. One, it had like a space gladiator on there. Obviously, it's purple. Purple's my favorite color. So I was like, and I love science fiction. I always have. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I was like, what is that? So I walked over and grabbed it, and I just sat down and started reading. And I think I read almost the entire book because I got there decently early in the afternoon, and somebody had to come up to me and be like, "Hey, we're closing soon." And I was like, "What? What?" And I like
I
looked
didn't
up, and
know
it was dark
this.
outside. Yeah, it was dark outside, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna buy
Holy
this."
shit.
So I bought the book. I went home. I finished it, and then I immediately was like, "Oh man, I'm not super like technologically inclined, and a lot of people like have a hard time believing, but I like wasn't chronically on the internet at all really. So I didn't know anything about like Discord or even Reddit. Like my wife had to introduce me to Reddit when we started dating. And yeah, but I basically didn't know. I like had to Google when the next book came out, and I remember being super happy because it was like, oh, book two comes out in a few weeks. So I was pretty hyped. So then I remember waiting for it. I remember pre-ordering it on Google Play Books. And then I bought Empire of Silence before because I wanted to have it all digital so I could like search through books when I wanted to remember stuff. And then I've been reading them as they released. And then I think it was uh either it was before Disquiet Gods I found out about the Discord, I think through Reddit. And then that's how I joined up. And then I immediately started annoying and harassing everyone on there because I didn't have anyone to talk to about these books. So I just came in and started swinging.
You really did. I try to have this habit of welcoming people as they come into the server. It's just kind of what our community does. It's very much muscle memory at this point where we just welcome people as they come in. And I remember your username coming through and welcoming you just like normal. It was going to be a regular day, but then I you started like
Every
shaking the boat.
channel started lighting up.
Yeah, it did. The boat started shaking in these really awesome ways. You, out of the blue, started boosting the server, and then you were like messaging me saying, "Hey, let me know if I can do anything. I want to be part of this community. I want to moderate." And I'm just sitting there going, "Who is this man?" You just came out of the gate swinging, man. And
I
from the
like
very
talking.
beginning, you like talking, you like yelling, and that's why we love you. This
I
dude will
guess.
never, he'll never admit it, but he really is the best of us.
You guys are just weird. It's a weird thing to say all the time. It's weird.
Yeah. It's you keep like proving to us that you are the best. So
Nah, man.
like the
I'm just
unstoppable force and
doing
the immovable
like
object.
I like what you guys like, and I want everyone to, I don't know, to have stuff. That way I don't feel bad about also having stuff.
That's a good way to balance it out, I guess.
Everyone's a dragon in my book.
Everyone's a dragon. And speaking of dragons and their hordes, there's quite a lot of Sun Eater that there is to sit upon. We've got Book One, which Christopher published back in 2018 with Daw Books, Empire of Silence. There's a novella that fits in between that and Book Two, The Lesser Devil, which follows Hadrian's brother, Crispin Marlowe. Then there's
New
Howling
cover art
Dark.
coming soon.
Was that?
Lesser Devil. New cover art coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Asterisk.
Yeah, John Barry Ballaran, man, he's the best. We've got Lesser Devil, Howling Dark is the second core book in the series. Then we have a collection of short stories we lovingly refer to as the Tales books. We've got Tales Volume 1. We have another novella set in between books 2 and 3 called Queen Amid Ashes, which we mentioned earlier. Another fan favorite in that one. And then
Yep.
Disquiet Gods? No, not Disquiet Gods, Demon in White. Sometimes my
Demon in
brain
White.
just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, Demon in White. A lot of people's like favorite book in the series because it really does
Yeah.
have a little bit of everything. It feels like the most common thing I see and hear is like, oh, it's like 3 books in one, and you've got the political intrigue, the battles, Casey's favorite scene. You got Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 2, and then we get to the other side of the fandom's like favorite book, Kingdoms of Death, which is entirely as bad as it sounds in terms of what goes on within those pages.
Yeah, that
Then
title
you
does
have,
not... Yeah.
yeah, the title doesn't do it justice. That book is rough on some people,
As we
and
mentioned,
it is
with
a
Isaac
great book.
struggling through it right now.
Yeah,
It's such an amazing book, and that's the thing about Sun Eater, that every single book is a winner. Every single book is a
yeah,
banger.
yeah. I know bangers. That's a banger. And then you've got Ashes of Man, book 5. Once again, this is some people's favorite, especially Casey. Shout out Casey. He's got a booktube channel too, so follow that. But Casey's
Yes.
favorite book's Ashes of Man. Again, all the Sun Eater books are bangers.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then to one that you brought up earlier, I should say, Dregs of Empire, which is, among the fans is probably like the most loved of the novellas.
Yeah.
Man, that one came out swinging. Laurie and Aristides really did go for our kneecaps, huh? Oof.
That's what he's
And then
seen. Right? That's what's level with him.
yeah,
Being an
that
he
man,
sees that kneecap level and he's like, I'm gonna bite those.
yeah, he really is just a little ankle biter, and we love him for it. Then we've got Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 3, which is another really, really good short story collection. Disquiet Gods, which up until recently was kind of the most what the f is happening book in the whole series. It will blow your brain right out of the back of your skull. It's such a wild book. Then we've got Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 4, which I believe is the most recent one. That one came out early summer, late spring, I believe. Shadows Upon Time. Physical books are not out yet, but as we have stated, I have read Shadows. You're in the middle of reading Shadows. Quite a few people have
Almost
gotten...
done. I'm at like 88%, I think. I'm in the end
Without...
game now.
You're in the short rows. Yeah, without spoiling anything, what are you
80%.
thinking of it right now?
There's a lot that I like. There is so much like bow tying, but there's also other things that are kind of getting sprinkled in, which makes me feel pretty optimistic for the continuation of Sun Eater. But I'm obviously not at the end yet, where Rukio likes to slide in the rest of that stuff. So I'm pretty excited to finish it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
have some criticisms, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, that is for
It's
another
still a 5
time.
out of 5 so far.
Oh my god, yeah, it could be a
Yeah,
6 if, we were to,
yeah,
break off the
exactly.
dial. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not very like animated. I have a really bad resting bitch face, and it's really hard for me to uh not have it present. So I'm trying my best to not
No,
like I
we
don't
love
want
your
people to
resting
look at
bitch
why
face,
is this
man.
dude scowling about No, Shadows is a fantastic book. I promise. It's
Yeah.
just I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, book good, and takes a little bit. It's still kind
There's
of
got
early-ish.
there's got to be a straight man with every duo. You are the perfect one. And then the bonus book that we haven't talked about yet is The Murdered Son. It's that lovely background Doom has as his
Well, I've
background.
got it right here
Um,
too.
ah, give me the
The
money.
Murdered Son.
The Murdered Son! What a great book. This was published solely with Anderida Books, who has taken it upon themselves to publish the novellas and the short stories in beautiful special edition books. Everything that Anderida does is mwah. And Anderida themselves are releasing a whole run of the core books through their own binding, and those are really exciting. Oh my god, look at that!
Naked board art.
Everything they do. That's under the dust jacket. That is immaculate.
And then you
But yeah, the
got the
Murdered Sun
Galaxy map.
itself is kind of, as Christopher puts it, an apocryphal
Oh,
testament of
I
Hadrian
disagree.
Marlowe. It's kind of the Sun Eater that could have been. It was the Sun Eater that might have been. It was the original story that he sold to Daw Books when he was a young man, and he obviously had to make some tweaks to end up with Empire of Silence, the book that we all know and love. But it was kind of incredible that he was able to work with both Daw and Anderida to get the Murdered Son into the hands of the masses, and I think that's pretty sick that he was able to do
Yep.
that. The dude thinks of the fans first and foremost, and we love him for it.
What? He thinks of the fans?
He
Cash grab
does.
Chris?
God, we'll get into that later, man.
Yeah. And it also has my second favorite short story in Prince of Man.
Oh my god.
I love that short story.
Prince of Man is so wild. It
It's
is
so
just
good.
it's just someone's like unhinged fanfic, and it's like one of the funniest things I think I've ever read written by Christopher. It is so funny and so good.
It's so odd being that, like, yeah, it's like a weird fan fiction, obviously, like within the world of Sun Eater, and we always like to joke that it's just we joke about like who authored these like random in-universe stories, and like it's always funny that Christopher himself wrote this short story as like a weird I don't know the word romanticization that I can't
Kind
speak
of,
English
sort
anymore.
of, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a weird, like fantastical telling of what occurred, and you can see the little bits of like what they got right, and then the
Yeah.
things everyone extrapolated and exaggerated to like make Hadrian more evil or devilish, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, it's the best story. But right now, gosh, he's got plans to write a fourth novel, right? Because we've got Lesser Devil, Queen of Mid Ashes, Dregs of Empire, and I think he's outlined or at least thought of a fourth standalone.
I believe it was hinted that it was supposed to be a like Valka novella, if
I
I'm
believe so.
remembering correctly, and I think it
He
was about
hasn't
the
mentioned it in a
time.
while.
Yeah, and then I think there's also a Polino short story that'll be coming out soon, if I'm remembering correctly as well.
Yes, that one is called The Devil You Know, and
Hmm.
it's a 5 chapter short story, and it's going to be in the back of the Anderida edition of Empire of Silence. So that is everyone's cue to get your copies while they last, because those books go like hotcakes. Holy shit!
Yeah, which is good. I mean, more people want to have hardcovers. Daw did a cool thing with re-releasing them once they reacquired the
Yeah.
series from Bane. They did a great job updating those dust jackets with the bigger like spine picture, which is super cool. I have my collection of Daw hardcovers down there in my other
So cool.
bookshelf. And then yeah, and then Andarida's just Andarida. is doing a crazy job. There are the broken binding editions as well that a lot of people like those, especially the bas relief like alternate dust jacket covers that are super cool.
Those are the ones I've got turned out on my issues right there.
Yeah, I'm looking right at mine right here.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly as the pillar collapses, which is a really cool like motif, especially like to add
Yeah.
it to what's going on in the story.
Mm-hmm. As everything in Hadrian's life slowly falls apart, and we get to watch it in
Crumbles
real
as it
time.
were.
Yep. Yep.
No.
So um, we'll have that fourth story. Hopefully, it's going to be a Valka novella, and
Yep.
we'll have. I think that's going to be tied with the fourth Tales set, so that's going to be good. We also have a deluxe edition of Empire of Silence to look forward
Oh,
to.
right. Yep.
That is coming out alongside Shadows Upon Time at the end of the year in November, I believe,
Hmm.
and the Dragonsteel Grimoire, I believe, which is going to be released solely at Dragonsteel Nexus. I don't know anything about the
You
Dragonsteel people or
can,
what they do.
you can still order them. At least last I checked, which was a couple days ago, you were still able to order them off of Grimoke's website. I think it's like $40 plus shipping, and
Okay.
you can order the anthology there. You can even, if you're attending Dragonsteel, you can order it for pickup, so you can go there and pick it up from the Grimoke booth. And I believe it has an Adaman short story in it, which is Christopher's
Yes.
fantasy short story that's currently going on, and there's a few of those going around.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got it's more of like a sword and sorcery thing, but it is his kind of like current episodic side hustle other than Sun Eater.
Yeah.
He's suspecting not to work for Sun Eater for quite some time because he's in the middle of writing some more little short stories for Adaman, and also because he has a trilogy, a fantasy trilogy in the works that he's currently outlining, which is very exciting. And people like to think it's going to be, some Adaman adjacent thing, but I think it's going to be something new and wild. He hasn't mentioned anything about it to me, but I am super excited to get into it because, man, fantasy just doesn't hold my attention anymore. Not like it was when I was a kid. So, out of my love for Sun Eater and my undying respect for Christopher, I know this one's going to be a banger.
I agree. I mean, from what I've read all the Adaman short stories, and I think the way Christopher weaves, you know, like what things are in there is always super cool. Like you can't tell what's magic and what's technology. Like clearly in Adaman there are it's a blending of those two things, and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the way he makes the description so that it doesn't you can't really tell which is which, and you can like lend yourself to your imagination either way, which is super awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And oh man, I would be remiss if I didn't mention all of the people that that Christopher has teamed up with along the way. Obviously, we mentioned the killer art and the backgrounds and the covers that were done. This one back here was done by the singular Kieran Yanner, who, if y'all don't know who Kieran Yanner is, he is I believe, the head art director for Wizards of the Coast. Yes, that Wizards of the Coast. And then Kieran also did your background for Murdered Son. Then we have James Cook, who is, as the name suggests, always cooking something amazing. His stuff is very reminiscent of old Star Wars paperback novels, which is one
Yeah.
of my favorite aesthetics in the whole wide world. And then we've got,
Oh,
John Barry Ballaran in the pocket. He's done the covers for Queen of Ashes. And yes, this is James Cook right here. I totally
James
forgot. He's
Cook.
just sitting here. He's so good at what he does, guys. Can't wait to see more of his stuff in the future. Like I was saying, John Barry Ballaran, oh, absolute amazing black and white artist, but he works with color really well too. He's done the covers for Queen of Ashes and Dregs of Empire right there. Thank you for keep pulling out examples. That one's awesome. I just love anything to do with Lorien. And then most recently, with the Adaman short stories, we've had our buddy Kevin Keel designing some stuff for that. And he also took a stab at some of the trading cards, too. So all of this art and all of these artists that are tied with Sun Eater we enjoy a little perk on the Patreon where we can go up a couple of tiers and we get handmade Sun Eater trading cards. The cards are amazing. As 90s kids, we just lost our mind when we heard that there were going to be trading cards. Oh, look! Doom once again has
My
an
binder.
example. Very good.
Then
Give
here are
us the good
some of
stuff.
the. Come on, camera, focus. It delete. There we go. Got to hold it at like an angle or something. We'll edit this part out.
Yeah, we'll do it in post. There we go. I can see Hadrian and Valka right there. Ah, hell yeah. Some beautiful trading cards. They have Q&Rs on the back so we can actually scan them and see these little data entries that were written for the cards. Just
spoiler.
such a... No, that is a spoiler. That's in book 6, you fool! But yeah, the trading cards. The trading cards are a great addition to this already wacky fandom. But this is kind of my shill at this point. Please join the Patreon. You get some behind-the-scenes stuff. You get access to the trading cards. In the polls that crop up every so often, you get to vote on what kind of art will be available and created for the trading cards. You'll also be able to vote for which short stories and which characters' POVs that will be voted for. And that is very cool to kind of sort of have your influence weighed in this the history of this series. Just to have your jammy little fingerprints left all over the series as it continues. And
Yeah, you get to put your finger on the scale, right?
yeah,
And
we're totally not weighting it in our favor, especially not with the popular characters.
Definitely not.
No,
Who would do such a thing?
No, not you. Surely not. Surely
Surely.
you wouldn't harass everyone on the server to vote for Otavia Corvo.
I never harassed anyone. I simply threatened. And I got what I wanted.
You did get what you want.
Damn
Oh
right.
man, she's so cool. She's so cool.
And I'll do it again.
Yes, you will. But yeah, Christopher, as we said before, has a YouTube where he regularly updates, gives us monthly updates. He will do monthly Q&A streams, which is really cool. That's how I ended up getting in touch with him. The Patreon, the YouTube, of course the Discord server, the Red Company, which I will include a link to, and that everyone is welcome to join, because the more the merrier. And at this point, it will be foolish of me not to mention the GALA. So, 7th book in the Sun Eater series, Shadows Upon Time, is slated to drop in November of this year, November 18th. But 3 days before the official release date, there is going to be a little shindig happening in Raleigh, North Carolina, hosted by Christopher and his wife Jenna, and a good deal of the Red Company Discord server is going to be there, as well as other members of the Sun Eater community. Yes, we both will be there. And this will be a chance for you to receive a signed copy of the book 3 days before it's slated to drop. How unique and how wicked is that? And there's going to be a Q&A, there's going to be hors d'oeuvres, there's going to be drinks, it's basically just going to be like the last huzzah before, the real avalanche of the end of the series comes crashing down on all of us. So I would love to see you there. Doom would love to see you there. Christopher and Jenna would certainly love to see you there. And you can go and get your tickets at highmatterbooks.com/gala. Again, we will include the link to this however soon I am able to get this into the world in a timely fashion. Hopefully soon. But yeah, I strongly urge that you guys join up with the Patreon, the YouTube, and especially the Discord server, because more or less, Doom and I wanted to make this podcast for the community. For our Sun Eater homies. And of course, other lay people who, may be floating by and saying, oh, what's the Sun Eater? I want to listen to these two nerds talk about Sun Eater for however long. But it's mostly for, our community, our fans, our people. And if you like Sun Eater and you're a fan and you want to see, how we progress as the podcast goes on, you should join the Discord, because then you'll be able to affect the direction of future episodes. You'll be able to vote on topics, and we may open a Q&A. We're just kind of like paddling in shallow waters right now. It's very experimental, but we would love to hear everyone's ideas, and just join the Discord. drop a line. You may have more influence than you realize, and we would love to hear what you'd have to say.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're doing this because people want a Sun Eater podcast, and we thought, why not us?
Yeah.
If not us, who will it be? You know?
If not us, who will it be? And we kind of have the perfect backgrounds for it too. I mean, weren't you in marketing for however many years?
I was in marketing for like 2 years. But I mean, I had a good working relationship with my boss. They wanted me to stay after I decided I wanted to leave. I like marketing's cool getting, the front face. I like dealing with people a lot. I like talking with people, and marketing is just another, when I did that, it was just another version of how I communicate. It was through like, art and how it affects people and stuff like that, and getting the response that you want, right? But yeah, again, we're gonna do lore deep dives. We'll do Q&As. We'll do analysis. We'll have a bunch of people on the Discord, people who wanna, who might be experts, quote unquote, of some of the subject matter. So we'll have them on too to, help us kind of guide this podcast along.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we are able to do interviews, maybe with some of the artists. Maybe we can get James Cook or John Barry Balleran on here at one point. I would.
Oh my!
My
I
my
would
end goal.
So
Yes.
hard if we got
Yeah.
Kieran Yenor on here. I'm
Oh my
surrounded by
God.
Kieran Yenor's art. I did his he had a Kickstarter for his art on
Yeah.
playmats. So I did that because I'm a big proponent. The whole reason I joined the Patreon was because Christopher had been like, it's an avenue for us to get more art, right? And that's the whole thing with the trading cards, is so that he can commission artists to have more art for the series done that isn't limited to just the books and things like that. And I was immediately like, yes, I'm sold. Let's do it.
Yes. Yes.
Kieran
Yes.
did.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I was like, click, 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 click. Give me it. And then I harass everyone for the one card I'm still missing. I have my Bernie
Yes.
Sanders meme. I am once again asking you for Hadrian, you know, expletive deleted because I don't want to, censored, not expletive, but censored because I don't want to spoil people who might be coming into the series and
Hmm.
hear his title. But
Hey,
that's
another
what I did.
reason to go to the gala, because they're going to be giving us ample trading cards, and I can't wait to see all the nerdy card trading that's going to happen at this event. Just people broken off into different cells, going, "I'll trade you my Valka for your Otavia." I cannot wait. This is going to add decades to my lifespan. I'm so stoked.
It's going to be awesome. I'm
Yeah.
really excited. The gala is going to be a lot of fun. I'm way more fun in person, I promise.
You re-
Uh,
you're fun however people interact with you, man. And I say this
no,
as as someone who had the privilege of hanging out with you in real life. You are a delight, and I cannot wait to do this podcast with you.
you are too. You guys have become like really good friends of mine. I talk to you guys all the time. The Discord is that
Mm-hmm.
kind of community where if you're active and stuff, man, you just meet people, like you just talk to people, and then all of a sudden you're talking to them about other stuff. You share interests, like it's crazy. Shout out to all my Red Company homies who I talk
Red
to on a regular
Company.
basis.
And I'm
Uh,
not biased. I'm not biased because it is my community. I am a little biased, but it's wild how many people will just hang out there and not talk about Sun Eater and just like go to it as their everyday online hangout. And it's insane the kind of community that it is, because usually you hear a Discord server and you think, oh, it's full of a bunch of bad apples, like in so much as a Discord server can be full of bad apples. We're a little cracked, but they're all really good people. And at this point, the community has become sort of this self governing body where, if someone starts shaking the tree, everyone goes, hey, hey, calm down. And a lot of people have reached out to me saying, this is really singular. Like, I've not really come across any place on the internet that's like this. And it's astounding for someone like me to hear, having never done something like this before. I just think it just speaks volumes about Sun Eater's ability to get together similar minded people, and just they're all decent people and we all like really cool shit, and what a great community this is. I There's not much more I could say about it. I love this community. I love Sun Eater, and I'm so excited to do this podcast. So
it's gonna be a good time.
it is. It is. Well, as our beloved Hadrian loves to say, there are endings, and this is one of them, but it certainly won't be the ending. So, my friends, we will catch you around. We'll pick it up where we left off, and we will see you soon. Until then, take care.
Night Captain signing off.
Night Captain signing off.